I picked this up for Black Friday. I purchased it, I'm gonna say, I think it was $169, or, I'm sorry, that's the going rate. I picked it up for $139 or $149. Now I was holding off on purchasing it. I was gonna wait since I have the old system. And all I wanted to do was update the router end. Now the old system, any of them could be the main router. So this is going to be replaced by the new one. I like the talking feature where I can tell it just to turn off internet, the kids' internet, which is great, easy for me, easy for my wife. It makes it easier just to turn it off without having to put it on the app. And I'm looking to improve the signal strength. Now, I did go a little bit overboard with my Google Wi-Fi. If you saw my previous videos, I have 12 of these in my apartment. I have one in every single location, hallways, bedrooms, bathrooms, everywhere. And the signal is awesome and great, but I'd like to try the new one and see if it gets even better. I have Verizon Fios, which is 1 gig up and down, and I'd love to improve the Wi-Fi in any way, shape, or form. It says that it's backward compatible, so I want to see if I could replace the router part and make the other ones the additional items or the satellites or the additional access points, and make this one the main one. I'm replacing only one. So let me open it up.
Google Nest Wi-Fi Router, SNO BHGOGWFS1W, MFR Georgia, 00595-US in the box. Google Nest Wi-Fi Router, SNO, 6.5, 1.98 meters, Ethernet cable 1X power adapter, limited 1-year warranty. Key features: Wi-Fi 5, 802.11 AC, up to 2200 mbps, router, 2.4 GHz 5 GHz dual band, 2x gigabit Ethernet RJ45 ports, router. The Google Nest Wi-Fi router supports Wi-Fi 5, 802.11 AC, and is more powerful than its predecessor, Google Wi-Fi, delivering up to 2 times the speed and up to 25% better coverage. The Nest Wi-Fi point allows for whole home coverage, and the system is scalable, allowing you to add more points in the future. The Nest Wi-Fi system can handle multiple 4K. The Google Nest Wi-Fi router supports Wi-Fi 5, 802.11 AC, and is more powerful than its predecessor, Google Wi-Fi, delivering up to 2 times the speed and up to 25% better coverage. The Nest Wi-Fi point allows for whole home coverage, and the system is scalable, allowing you to add more points in the future. The Nest Wi-Fi system can handle multiple 4K video streams at the same time. The Nest Wi-Fi system also supports proactive band steering, a self-healing network, and transmit beamforming. The router features the SNO color. The Nest Wi-Fi router can cover up to 2,200 square feet and supports 4x4 inches MIMO. The router also has dual gigabit Ethernet RJ45 jacks. Google built the Nest Wi-Fi system to provide the foundation for your future smart home devices. It has local home connectivity, allowing some devices to connect directly to the system without a hub. Use the Google Home app for a simple setup and controls. Stream with speed. The Nest Wi-Fi router is capable of handling up to 100 connected devices. It's also fast enough to stream multiple 4K videos at the same time, dependent on your ICE broadband connection. Whole home coverage. The Nest Wi-Fi router plugs into your modem and creates a wireless network with a strong, reliable signal. Add a Nest Wi-Fi point to expand Wi-Fi coverage. The Nest Wi-Fi point also features a smart speaker that can play music and supports Google Assistant. As you move from room to room, you'll get connected to the fastest Wi-Fi point. It will also put your network on the clearest channel and the fastest band to avoid congestion. Security with an advanced security chip, WPA3 encryption, and automatic security updates, the Nest Wi-Fi router helps keep your wireless network safe and secure. Built with sustainable materials, the Nest Wi-Fi router is made from 45% post-consumer recycled plastic, while the point is made from 40% post-consumer recycled plastic. UPC 193,575,001,593. Google Georgia 00595-US. Specs: number of units 1 connectivity Wi-Fi 5 802.11 AC dual band 2.4 and 5 GHz ports router 2XRJ 45 gigabit Ethernet MIMO support router 4x4 beamforming support yes wireless security WPA3 Bluetooth yes communication protocol Google Home virtual assistant support none general mobile operating system support yes operation modes mesh wireless router hardware processor 1.4 GHz ARM quad-core memory router 1 GB flash memory router 4 GB speakers, none built-in microphones, none display, none physical material of construction plastic dimensions 4.3 x 3.6 inches 110.0 x 90.4 millimeters. Router. Weight 13.4 ounces 380 grams. Router. Packaging info package weight 1.93 pounds box dimensions. LXWXH. 5.7 x 5.4 x 5.3.
I do miss that they're not using the USB-C to power. Oh well, it's gonna be a regular plug, maybe because it just requires too much power. I don't know. I'm gonna have to return the item. I was having my, as you saw in the beginning of the video, my old network, which is the first version of the GooGle WiFi Nest system. Now, what I wanted to do is actually make this my main router and make the version 1 GooGle Nest. These, the satellite ones, I'm going to call them satellites. So the extensions to the GooGle WiFi, I'm going to call them, I think they're called, hold on. So they're calling them add-on points, or I'm going to call them satellites. So they're going to be the router and the satellites. Satellites would be the extension to the actual main router. So what I wanted to do was make this my main router and make these satellites, additional satellites. Like I told you earlier, I have 12 of them. Now, I just want to explain to you why I have 12. The problem I'm having in my apartment building is that it's an old building, and when it was built, the insides of the walls have a metal mesh, so they didn't put up walls like they do today with sheetrock. So sheetrock will allow anything through, but these, I can't show it to you, but I've gotten a couple of walls taken down in my apartment, and the inside, you know, I've taken pictures inside, and what it is that it has a frame made out of wood. And then it has a metal mesh on both sides of the wall. And then it looks like they plastered the wall on, to make the wall, they used like a plaster. I forget what that's called. I knew the term a while back. But they don't make walls like that anymore. They just use sheetrock or drywall. So it doesn't, you know, there's no, my walls, because of the metal mesh on both sides, whenever I had one of these on the other side of the wall, it seemed like the Wi-Fi signal would bounce all over the place instead of stream out in the right locations. So if you were on the other side of the wall in the room, you wouldn't get a good Wi-Fi signal. That's why I needed 12 of them, because every single room and area needed its own Wi-Fi, because the communication between the router and the satellites worked well. but whenever you connected to it, you went from room to room, you would see the cutoff. It would disconnect, especially the back room, because the metal mesh around, you're surrounded by metal mesh, and it's causing signal interference. So that's why I have 12 of them. Anyway, so I try to make this my main router to make the signal much more powerful and actually talk to it and have it shut off internet and all that other good stuff. But I can't, and I could be doing something wrong, so it may not be Google's fault, but that was my thing. This was going to be the main router. These were going to be my satellites because I don't want to buy additional ones, okay? So I saw this on special. I purchased it. I wanted to make this the main router and these to be the satellites, okay? And it looks like there might be communication issues, because to configure this, I use what's called the GooGle WiFi app. And to configure this, you got to use Google Home because it's a Nest product type of thing. And that's what I use to control my thermostat in my Nest. So on my iPad, you can see I have to use Google Home for the router and Google Wi-Fi for the satellite. So there's no cross-platform. Like, this comes up under the Google Wi-Fi app, but it doesn't let me do anything to it. It tells me I have to use the Google Home app to configure it and change the name. Same thing with this. The Google Home sees my router, my satellites, but I can't do anything with it. So I don't know what their plan is, if they're moving away from the Google Wi-Fi and they're gonna do go with the Home. I don't know. I'd like to actually keep it separate. It makes it less confusing because I have a lot of Google products, and when I'm looking through the Google Home app, it's a lot of things I have to scroll through. So I wish they'd keep its own dedicated app, but again, that's just my view. That way, when I'm dealing with the router, I'm not dealing with anything else, just the router. And I like the way the Google Wi-Fi app gives me more options to remove, delete, rename, and everything. It's a little bit difficult to do it with this. I was unable to do it once I joined them. So I would set this up. I had to set this up like a satellite, and it joined. But I couldn't see if this was even picking up a signal, if I was even connecting to this. I did see an additional unit on the Google Home app and the Google Wi-Fi app. So I'm assuming they're communicating. It said it had a strong internet signal, so I'm going by the app itself. But when I would set this up by itself, I could do different options, rename it, do all kinds of things to it. But once I set it up with my satellite, my own network, when I put them together, it limited what I could do with this. It was just really weird. It's cumbersome. I don't think it's supposed to work this way. So when they say it's backward compatible, I think what they mean is that you can buy satellites, the new version. I'm going to call this version 2 and version 1. So if you buy additional version 2 satellites, you can connect them to your old network to extend it. But I don't know if you could do it the way I want to do it, which is to make this the primary router and make these satellites. That's not working for me. So I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. So it's going to go back. But if I figure out how to end up doing it in the future, or they update the app, I would definitely... If you have any advice or anything to add, please write it below. I do the YouTube video to also learn. Like I said, I'm a regular guy, just like a lot of gadgets, and that's it. So I'd really like, maybe in the future, but I hope, I have to tell you, one of the things that's already turning me off in regards to this is having to use the Google Home app. I don't want to use it. I want a dedicated, separate router app, not tied to all my other Google devices. I know that they want to tie everything in. I don't mind if they add this to the Google Home like they did with these. I saw these. But I'd like to do all the configuration and everything separate. So that way there's no confusion. There's no messing anything up. If you sign out of that app and you disconnect everything, including your internet. I don't want to deal with the hassle. I want a separate, dedicated app like the Google Wi-Fi. They should stay with that. But again, that's just my opinion. I like everything in its place. I don't want to connect this with my displays and the Google Minis and all that. So I want it separate. But anyway, so it's going back. What I wanted to do with it is not working. I also don't like another thing. I don't know why they went with this power connection. I leave it with the USB-C. A USB-C for that satellite. I don't understand why they went with a standard plug. I don't get it. I don't like that either. A lot of things, the new version, I don't like. That's a real turnoff. I did a video on the fact that I could take this outside in front of my doorway or take it anywhere with a USB-C battery charger. And I stuck it to the bottom and it worked really well. And I got a signal real far away outside of my home. I'm not going to be able to do that with this because I'm going to have to get a battery charger, a huge one, that takes, plug-in devices. Use this one, USB-Cs, they got them all over the place. I got a tiny one that's 4,000 milliamp, and it gave me like 3 hours of internet access outside. It was awesome. So I don't know why they went with that. That's a big turnoff. So that's kind of, there's a lot of things. It was the configuration setup was tough. I mean, this had to be super duper blazing, super fast. I don't have any issues with my Wi-Fi. I just want to make it work even better if I could. But I've got to say, even thinking about it and talking about it, I don't like this. This is already a turn off. And I don't like that it works on the Google Home app. I wish it used only the Google Wi-Fi app. I could be making a mistake. This all could be moot because, I may not, but I did everything possible to get it working the way I wanted to, and I couldn't. And, those are the two big things for me is, the other negatives, which I probably will stick with these since these are the old version. I'm hoping they go even more on sale, and I'll just buy additional ones for future, so that I can use them in the future. But I don't like this plug, and I don't like using the Google Home app. Also, one thing I just want to say, is that I don't like this whole app-based router configuration. I'm a Cisco guy. I used to work on Cisco. That was my main job. I used to work with Cisco. I'm sorry, not with Cisco, but Cisco devices for a company in the IT section. And, using the command line or even a web interface to configure switches and routers, it seems to give you much more control. Anytime I click on something or type in a command, I know it's going to work right away. Whereas the apps, sometimes they crash, sometimes they're slow, sometimes it doesn't go through, and it doesn't tell you why. Whereas in Cisco switches and routers, it tells you exactly what the error is, or it just won't work. There's all different kinds of things. I'm really turned off with the fact that everything's going web-based. They should have both. They should let me log into this through a web interface and then let regular users use the app. That way, advanced users could use this. That I can do my background is routers and switches, Cisco routers and switches. So I would love to have had that. But for now, it's working. The old one is working fine, so I'm going to return this. It's not doing what I wanted to do. So this is my video. I don't know if this is helpful to you, but I hope you like it. Thank you.